Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your side gig. How are you, Jenny? Welcome. Good to see you. You're gonna love this live. I don't know if you can relate or not, but there are there have been many times in my life where I have felt like I'm doing all this work and it's not paying off. I don't know who can relate, but there's been many times in my life, many times, not just like one occasion. I can name several that I've kind of just stood back, thrown stuff on the ground, just kind of stood back and said, Aish, is this really gonna happen? Is this working? Right? Is this happening? Is this really going to go or not? And I don't know if you haven't experienced that, then stay tuned. You haven't been in it long enough. But there's a great story that goes with this, and I came across it today, and I love this story. So the story goes that a kid, T-Money. Oh, Manoush, I wanted you to come to this live. I'm so glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. I was going to send you the replay. I'm so glad you're here. So, yeah, I mean, all of us can, at one point or another, I'm very sure that we can relate, say, all this work that I'm putting in, is it really going anywhere? Is it doing anything? Is it going to pay off? Am I going to make it? All this stuff, right? So, there's a story behind this. Story goes as such. There's a kid that wants to learn martial arts. So he gets up, he goes to a Shaolin Montessori. That's a tough one. You get it, all right? And a Shaolin camp, let's call it. I can't say it. Anyway, and wants to learn martial arts. Well, the first day that he goes for practice, his master points to a well and says, "I want you to go punch the water." And he doesn't really, monastery. Thank you. That was funny. And he doesn't think about it much, but he thinks it's kind of strange. But he goes in there and he just kind of starts to punch the well, and everybody else is practicing other stuff. Well, the next day he goes for practice, and the master tells him the same thing. Says, "I want you to go to that well and punch the water." All right, a little weird. Well, this continues on and on, day after day after day, and all this kid does is just punch the water in the well. So at the end of the year, the kid says, and he gets up and he wants to go back home. So he goes back home. There's a whole celebration. Everybody, the family's waiting for him to get back. And, when he gets back, they're having a party for him. And, at the table, a family member, I'm sorry, I saw a text just roll across the way. They ask him, "Hey, so what did you learn this past year? Right? What did you learn?" And he thinks back to the year and he remembers all the people that learned all kinds of stuff, and he didn't learn anything. The only thing he did was punch the water in the well, right? So he gets really angry and he gets really frustrated, and he says, "I didn't learn a thing." And he just smashes his hand on the table. Well, the table breaks in hundreds of pieces. And it's at that moment that the kid understood the lesson. I've had so many times that I have felt like I have been punching the water in the well, not learning a thing, right? Jenny sending you prayers right now. After this live, I will pray for you. But there's so many times I've punched the water in the well, and I've kept telling myself, is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? And today is no exception. Today is no exception. You know, doing my prospecting and all that stuff. So I want you to know that you may be productive even though you may think you're not. You may think you're not progressing, but you know what? You are. You may be thinking that it's not working, what I'm doing is not working, but it may actually be working. You know, one of my mentors in our company says, love what he says. He says, what you do today, you get paid for in 90 days. So in our space, you gotta be patient, right? You gotta be patient. So if you're planting seeds today, if you're doing stuff today, you won't be able to pick up the produce like tomorrow. It's just not happening. You know, it just wouldn't be reasonable. You wouldn't do that to your own farm. You wouldn't like go plant some seeds tonight and then go in the morning and then expect fruit, would you? Just, it's silly, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So know that now here, one thing I do gotta drop in here is that, hey, there are times that you gotta tweak your strategy, right? You're doing something and it's not working. You gotta tweak it, right? You study it, you write down notes, you figure things out, right? You're treating it like a business, right? And what you're doing is kind of figuring things out. You're tweaking your strategy. But that doesn't mean you leave everything and just leave and move to Mars. You know, so the whole idea is, yeah, you can tweak your strategy. You can, you know, do things to adjust, but to beat yourself up constantly and feel like you're not progressing, you're not doing it, you're not enough. You know, I burnt my list of things last night. My limiting beliefs, if you would, and you gotta believe that, you know what you are doing, it's going to pay off. If you don't, you will stop. That's faith. You know, that's faith. So I hope you got some love, some inspiration, some value from this. Remember that at times you may be thinking you're punching the water in the well and you're not learning techniques, you're not learning martial arts, but remember, you're learning strength and it's going to come into play. So with that, I hope you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I thank you guys. I'm going to go back and read the comments and respond, obviously. Jenny, I'm going to love everything you've posted. I'm going to pray for you as well. If you guys feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you got to do. Spread the love. Tag a couple people or share it on your wall, you know. And drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback. Let me know if you feel like you've been punching the water in the well. Have you been feeling that way? What is making you feel that way? You know, maybe it's time for you to tweak your strategy, or, you know, just look at the whole thing all over again, you know, go back to basics. That's something that I love to do. You know, I'll drop it with this. Whenever I go back to the gym after a long layoff or injury or what have you, I always go back to the basics. Like, I literally don't do any of my fancy schmancy stuff. I stick to the very basics. Arnold basics. Okay. And when it comes to direct sales and relaunching your gig or what have you, sometimes you just got to go back to the basics, the bottom of the bottom, like the basics, you know, and attack it that way. So hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. And with that, I am Sean Azimi with Side Gig Sean, where I help you look, start, and grow your side gig. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.